I was taking in about 6 cups of coffee a day, which is a lot. I know, don't judge. And then sometimes during the day, I'd have my SST seltzer, which is another 300 milligrams. That's 600 milligrams of caffeine just about. And that's a lot to just quit cold turkey. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Morning Takeaway. I am waking up early this morning. It is 7:26 a.m. on this awesome freaking day, and got a little workout in this morning, and I wanted to jump on here with a little takeaway, and it kind of relates to how I've been feeling the past 5 days. Gonna get a little vulnerable here, but I think that's key to life, vulnerability in general. That's a totally different topic, but before we get started, if you don't mind, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts. If you take something away from this today and you think somebody else might be able to resonate with it or share with somebody else or impact somebody, then please, that's the best way you can help me out, is by sharing and helping spread the word. So I always say, if somebody was able to get behind a mic and a camera and help change my life, I want to be able to do that for somebody else. And with that being said, I want to get into today and feeling like you're in a rut. Where we kind of feel, there's times in life that I talked on friction and flow in one of the previous podcasts, and you get in that flow and you feel unbreakable and nothing can stop you. And we live in a crazy world that the universe wants to balance us out. There's always something, there's always some more friction, there's always some more flow. There's always going to be something that wants to, pull us back. And it's the habits and the mindset and the consistent perspective that we take on life that is really going to carry us through those things, right? So I want to share with you, before we get to this quote, and I'll read the quote right now, the best way to get things done is to simply begin. And I'll circle back to that later on. It's not going to be a long one. I actually have a flight to catch here soon. Spontaneous flight to Vegas. Booked it last night at 10 p.m. So anyways, furthermore, nevertheless, whatever word you want to use, the way I've been feeling the past 5 days, I guess, is it 5 days? Since last Friday, however many days it is, I stopped intaking caffeine. And let me put that in perspective to you. I want to talk today about being in a rut and caffeine, and if it's a drug, and it totally is. So I stopped. Let me put it in perspective. I was taking in about 6 cups of coffee a day, which is a lot. I know, don't judge. And then sometimes during the day, I'd have my SST seltzer, which is another 300 milligrams. That's 600 milligrams of caffeine just about. And that's a lot to just quit cold turkey. So Friday rolls around and I get to the morning, and I had decided I was going to stay firm to this 10 days, no caffeine. And about midday, I had the worst headache in my life. And what attributed to that? It could be a lot of things. Stress, it could be, your workout, something that you ate, whatever. There's multiple things that go into it. But here is this overarching thing that I committed to, not taking in caffeine. And what do you know? That affected my entire day. It affected my workout. It affected everything that I was doing so much to where I felt, I was even looking in the mirror like, oh my gosh, I was judging myself, and we all have some kind of body dysmorphia, but there's so many levels to where this domino effect led to. And I started to realize, one, obviously, and I knew this, caffeine's a drug. I'm completely addicted, and now this is holy vulnerability, right? But now it's time to kind of hone in and realize that, hey, I can do this for 10 days. I can go without caffeine. I am on day 5 now, 4 or 5, and I'm just now starting to feel like I'm gaining my momentum back. So I want to circle this in. The past 4 or 5 days, I've been feeling super down, super just not myself. And it's because when your body gets out of whack and all these motor neurons aren't firing the same way and the stimulants aren't there and the neurotransmitters, the dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, yada, yada, yada. We should talk about those one day. when they're not all firing and working the same way and not properly, but the way they're used to, well, now they're trying to figure out other ways to cope. So now it's using energy in other ways, and it essentially was just bringing me down, right? So I was feeling more tired, obviously, without caffeine. I was trying to take naps. I never do that. And obviously, don't get me wrong, it's important to now take care of your body, especially when you feel like you need the rest. But aside from that, I have just been feeling super down. I'm like, what can I do to get out of it? And if you know me, I am super into my routine. I'm super, super structured, and I have to write my things down on my to-do list and check them off every single day and make sure that I'm on top of things. And I just couldn't really give a crap less to do any of it for the past 4 or 5 days. And I was doing it, especially the past 2 or 3 days. And granted, it was the weekend. I was watching the Masters or whatever. But the past 2 days, I'm just like, how do I get back to that point of being me? And I was writing in my journal, like, stay true to yourself. Value what you value, stay true to your standards. And this is true for anybody that's, might be going through something and feeling like they can't get out. You can still stick to those standards or go to the gym for 5 minutes, because you're associating yourself with your identity still, right? You're still a gym goer. You're going to the gym, you're showing up, you're being who you are and proving to yourself, hey, I am still this person. So, with that said, I was doing all of these things and still just kind of feeling like, I want my routine. I want my structure. I want to feel that momentum. And that's when I put the story on yesterday, like, holy crap, that's it. You got to keep building the momentum, right? And stay true to yourself. So as soon as I started to get back into these routines and go back to, like, all right, when I first started getting into my, feeling unstoppable, what were the things that I was doing each and every day that attributed from when I woke up to when I went to bed to feeling incredible? And as soon as I started doing that, one by one, I know it's one day, but you create that momentum and then you get with it again day in and day out, right? So yesterday I went through everything, and towards the end of the day, was starting to feel like, holy crap. And with time, with caffeine and your body starting to, get used to not having something, and that addiction, and on a side note, the world that we live in, there's so many different things that we can be addicted to. Social media, caffeine, hard drugs, opioids, whatever it might be. It's a real thing, and I think it's something that should be talked about, and especially if you've struggled with this in the past. And I would love to hear, if you're open enough to talk with me about it, to hear about your experiences. I actually have connected with somebody on Instagram that was a user, and he and I are super close. I don't know if I'll ever meet him, but hearing that story, that kind of stuff motivates me. It inspires me, and I love hearing how people get through these things. And, this is such a minor thing for myself, and I don't want to play it up, but it was that, I was feeling this, and it's in those days, it was like, all right, I'll just go have a cup of coffee. Like, I'll be fine. Just one cup of coffee. But no, stick to it. Stick to what you're doing. I'm going 10 days right now, and who knows, after that I might be off of it. But where I was going with this is, I think, to circle back to the quote, is the best way to get things done is to simply begin. And to me, that means beginning with the end in mind. And for me, that end in mind was being unstoppable and getting to that point again where I felt like myself, right? And you still are yourself each and every day, but how do you go through each and every day consistently feeling like yourself, doing the things that add up and the compound effect? So in 10 years, you look up and you're like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't have that cup of coffee. Or wow, I'm really glad I went to the gym at 5:30 this morning. There's so many different things, and I'm kind of getting redundant here, but if there's anything you take away from it, if you're feeling like you're in a rut, stay true to yourself. It's always going to come back around. And if you put that good energy out in the world, and you begin with the end in mind, and you just begin, or stay true to what you're trying to accomplish each and every day, a lot, you're going to look up and be really happy with where you're at. And, sticking to that mindset, the perspective and the outlook on life that you want to take to ultimately live what is the most fulfilling life to you. And I just wanted to jump on here, give you a quick little rant, and hopefully you can take something away. But with that said, let's get into the random question generator here. I got to click off, generate a random question. Boom. What's the embarrassing story that your parents used to tell others about you? Oh my goodness. I don't even know. I'm sure there's a lot of embarrassing things in my life. God, I can think of quite a few. I would probably say, I don't even know if there's nothing that I can really remember. I'm sure that they would love to tell you if they could see this question. The most embarrassing thing I can think of was peeing on the floor in like kindergarten, and then I don't know why it was like this peeing issue. And then first grade, I peed in an out of order toilet and tried to flush it and went to the principal's office. I don't even know if that's embarrassing, but just kind of like a, what are you doing, dude, moment. So if you guys have any embarrassing stories, I'd love to hear them, and if I'll think of one, I'll drop it in the comments. But with that said, hope you took something away. Hope you're having an awesome freaking day. Have an awesome rest of your day, and don't forget to smile.